The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. The mother of Jesus and his brothers arrived at the house. Standing outside, they sent word to Jesus and called him. A crowd seated around him and told him, "Your mother and your brothers and your sisters are outside asking for you." But Jesus said to them in reply, "Who are my brothers and my sisters and my mother?" And looking around at those seated in the circle, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of God is my brother and sister and mother." The Gospel of the Lord. In the Gospel reading today, we have Jesus in the middle, and then we have outside of the house his mother, his brothers, and his sisters. And we have inside of the house a crowd of people sitting around Jesus. So the first thing we may notice is the detail about the location of those two groups of people. The ones who are supposed to be closer to Jesus were staying outside, and the ones who are strangers to Jesus were all around him inside the house, listening to his teachings. We can see that Jesus didn't favor personal relationships, but he favors the faith of the people. Those who listen to him and practice his teachings will be the ones who could come closer to him. We are all baptized people. We receive the sacraments often. We have all kinds of blessings and fancy rituals and lengthy prayers. We may think that we are supposed to be the closer ones to God and to Jesus than others who are not Christians. But if we only hang on to the surface and not going deeper into our faith by the actual practice of Jesus' teachings, we would always be the outsiders and would never be able to get close to Jesus. And the second thing we may notice is Jesus' response. Or some may say that it is Jesus' denial of his mother, his brothers, and his sisters. Jesus was told already that his family was outside waiting for him, but he asked, "Who are my mother, my brothers, and my sisters?" If we don't understand Jesus' response in the context of the Gospel reading, we may easily think that Jesus is denying his own family. However, if we look at Jesus' standard to consider someone his family, the standard of doing the will of God, we can see that Jesus didn't deny, but Jesus actually confirmed and praised his mother, his brothers, and his sisters, because we know very well about the extraordinary example of faith from the Blessed Mother Mary, the mother of Jesus, as well as the faith of his disciples. So by doing the will of God and practicing Jesus' teachings, the concept of physical distance, of being further or closer to Jesus, is no longer an issue to be considered. When we practice Jesus' teachings and do the will of God in our lives, we will be able to see and feel the presence of God in everything we do and whenever we are. So let us remember that Jesus values the true faith rather than the faith on the lips. And when we do the will of God and practice Jesus' teachings, Jesus would always be closer to God. May God, who has begun the good work in us, also bring it to fruitful completion. Amen.